What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Roads Flow Garage. Got a real exciting video today, for me anyway. Got the new turbo for the Fairlane, so really excited to get it unboxed here and show everybody what's up. Here we go. So this is what I end up going with. VS Racing Gen 2.5 Billet Wheel 7875. It is beautiful. So this thing should make 800 horsepower at least to the wheels on my car. Just for comparison, the difference in the back housing, it's like a Mini. It's quite a bit bigger. Bigger inlet wheel, bigger compressor wheel, same size exhaust exit. I didn't want to have to get into putting a 4-inch exhaust on it, so I went with this one. I could have made more power for sure had I gone with a bigger compressor housing, but like I said, I just didn't want to change exhaust. 3-inch exhaust is already pushing it size wise on the car. I don't have much room, so I didn't want to change to a bigger 4-inch. So, gonna get the feed on, get our drain on. I may have to clock the center section a little bit. I don't think I will. Definitely will have to clock the compressor housing. So, gonna get on that right now. I'm gonna have to reuse my old bolts for my drain because it didn't come with them. And also my fitting for my feed line here. Hopefully they'll be the same in the new turbo, but if not, I've got plenty of bolts here. Got my new drain flange on. I used the gasket that came with the turbo, but also used a little bit of ultra copper just for extra safety measures. I've got to put my fitting in the top for the oil feed. It did not come with a plate, so I'm just gonna put this fitting right in the top there. Gotta put a little Teflon tape on it here real fast. Got my fitting all Teflon taped up. Typically I would rather use a liquid, but can't find my liquid at the moment. Plenty of tape I have here, so that's what I used. It'll be fine. Alright, there we go. Ready to throw this thing in the car. Like I said, I know I'm going to have to clock the outer housing. I'm thinking that the inner housing will be okay. I won't know until I go put it on the car, but we'll go do that. Alright, we're back here over at the car. I still haven't cleaned that flange yet, but that's okay. I know I'm going to have the turbo on and off once or twice, so I'm okay with that. I'm going to sit her down, throw a couple bolts in it just to hold it, check everything out, make sure it's good. Okay, so there it is sitting in place. Obviously I got to turn this down to make it point to my pipe down here. So as you can see, my feet is kind of laid over and my drain is slanted down, but I'm thinking that they need to be more straight up and down. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to clock it. I'm going to turn it up to where the feed is more up here. And then that'll be, the drain will be straight down. Also went back to my original drain plate because the other one was bent in such a manner that it was going to hit the flange. Just going to loosen all these back housing bolts here so I can turn it to where we want it. So we're turning there. I'm going to go sit it back on the car and snug it down to where we need to be. I'm going to go ahead and loosen this housing first. I got both housings where they'll move, so now we're going to go play with it on the car again. Just got her sitting in place here again. I feel like that's pretty good on the back housing. If you can see now, back housing, I got this straight up and down, which means the feed line is straight up and down. I just gotta make sure I can get it on before so I'm gonna tighten a couple of these bolts just to lock it in. Make sure I can get my drain on before I go crazy, because it looks like it's pretty darn close to the flange. Mess with that for a minute. Clock this housing, and then pull it back off, tighten everything down, we'll be good to go. That one's going to be really hard because the turbo is kind of in the way there. Let's see if I can fish it in here. It's going to be my hardest one for sure. Alright, just got it bolted down. I'm going to go ahead and get the drain back on and the feed line back on and work on downpipe. Oil feed and drainer tight. Hook up our charge pipe. I'm gonna have to turn our front housing down just a little more, just so I can hook up the charge pipe. Charge pipe is on. Getting close to hearing this thing fire up. Got my first downpipe clamp on, getting ready to put the second one on, and get ready to fire this thing. And just like that, nice pretty billet wheel. 78, 75 on. Let's give this bad boy a fire up. I'm gonna unplug the coil and let it crank a little bit. Fill it with some oil. All right, I'm gonna crank it, start it, let it run for a minute. I do have a new turbo blanket. I'm gonna leave that off for now so I can let it heat cycle and then retighten all the bolts. Here we go. Lethargic, and she hadn't been awake in a few months. lifters are a little noisy. And here's the finished product. Came out very good. Didn't have hardly any issues. Did have some issues with the bolts and the drain. I had to go back to the original drain that I had on my car before with the other turbo. But other than that, both on really smoothly. Had to have an adapter to step from the 3-inch to the 2.5 pipe I had. But I knew that ahead of time, so I already had one here waiting. So did take it on a 75-mile cruise over the weekend and did really well. I couldn't get on it much because she is not a huge fan of me getting on it with her in the car. last time I did that. Blew up the drive shaft and the transmission. So she wasn't a huge fan of that. I'll have to take it on some other cruises here soon and do some videoing of it. But car does need a good tune. It sounds like I need to go back through the valves and stuff, but it has been sitting for a little bit, so all that's to be expected. So, but thank you all. Like and subscribe my video, and as always, roll with the flow. Have a good one.